Hello, welcome to the WIC Food Package Update Training 2026. Nevada WIC is housed within the Division of Public and Behavioral Health. The Division of Public and Behavioral Health has a mission to protect, promote, and improve the physical and behavioral health and safety of all people in Nevada, equitably and regardless of circumstances, so they can live their safest, longest, healthiest, and happiest life. DPBH has a vision for a Nevada where preventable health and safety issues no longer impact the opportunity for all people to live life in the best possible health. And our purpose is to make everyone's life healthier, happier, longer, and safer. Our agenda today is to look at the updates to food packages. There's changes in infant foods and formula, the cash value benefit for fruits and vegetables, juice, yogurt, tofu, cereal, whole grains, canned fish, eggs and legumes. There will be a more variety of packages. We'll talk about how and when these changes will be implemented and what it means for vendors. Acronyms you might see or hear during this presentation include WIC, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children, SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, UPC is a Universal Product Code, APL is the Approved Product List, and PLU is Product Lookup. Updates to food packages. Our new updates include more choices to ensure participants have access to essential nutrients that promote health, growth, and development, more balance to address key nutritional needs and support healthy diets, more flexibility and variety to accommodate personal and cultural food preferences and special dietary needs, and more support for individual goals to establish and sustain long-term breastfeeding. As you can see on the infant foods chart, infant cereal, fruits and vegetables, and infant meats have all had a change in amount offered. The previous amount for cereal for fully breastfed was 24 ounces, partially breastfed was 24 ounces, and full formula was 24 ounces. Now, fully breastfed infants get 16 ounces, partially breastfed get 8, and full formula get 8. In fruits and vegetables, fully breastfed used to get 256 ounces, and partially breastfed and full formula got 128 ounces. Now, all infants, regardless of breastfeeding status, get 128 ounces of fruits and vegetables. Half of that may be substituted for CVB. Half would be 64 ounces, and that is worth $11 in cash value benefit. All of it, the whole 128 ounces, would be worth $22 in cash value benefit. In infant meats, fully breastfed used to receive 77.5 ounces. They now receive 40 ounces. Partially breastfed or full formula infants do not receive any meats. This is based on the most current nutritional guidelines. You can see the amount of infant cereal, infant fruits and vegetables, and infant meats have been reduced. By offering more formula to women who are partially breastfeeding, pumping, or returning to work or school, this helps them meet their breastfeeding goals. WIC used to have an all or nothing approach to breastfeeding, which served to discourage breastfeeding for women that need to supplement with formula. And this new option also provides more opportunity for dads to participate in feeding infants. For fresh fruits and vegetables, the cash value benefit that had a temporary increase during COVID has now seen that increase be permanent. There will be allowances for inflation. Toddlers from 12 to 24 months will get $26. Pregnant and postpartum women get $48, and breastfeeding women get $52. The new juice amounts reflect the latest nutritional recommendations. The 48-ounce juice for women has been removed, as well as the 11.5 to 12-ounce frozen concentrate. The 64-ounce bottle is still available for all. Stores will no longer be required to stock frozen concentrate juice or 48-ounce juice bottles. Dependent on participant type, the previous amount of juice for children was 128 ounces, for pregnant and breastfeeding was 144 ounces, and postpartum was 96 ounces. With this change, 64 ounces is what is provided for all participant types. Changes in yogurt include a reduction in the amount of allowed sugar and a new requirement for minimum vitamin D amount. The vitamin D requirements go into effect in 2027 in order to give manufacturers time to make changes. The added sugar limit before changes was no more than 40 grams of sugar per 8 ounces, and the new rule is no more than 10 grams of added sugar per 8 ounces. In plant-based yogurt, there were no plant-based yogurts allowed before changes, and now they are approved with no more than 10 grams of added sugar per 8 ounces, so long as they meet the other nutritional requirements. With vitamin D, before changes, there was no minimum requirement, and now there will be a minimum vitamin D specification at 106 IU per 8 ounces of yogurt. The substitution amounts before changes, you got 1 quart of milk for 1 quart of yogurt, and now you can get 2 quarts of milk for 2 quarts of yogurt. Toddler food package had whole milk yogurt, and now with the new rules, whole milk and low fat are standard. Changes made to tofu have to do with the amount of calcium in it. Before changes, the calcium requirements were that tofu must be calcium set and prepared with calcium salts. And after the changes, there's a minimum calcium specification of 100 milligrams per 100 grams of tofu. Tofu may not be substituted at the store. It must be listed on the participant's food package. Changes in cereal have to do with the whole grain requirements. Before changes, 50% of WIC-approved cereals must have had whole grain listed as the first ingredient. After the change, 75% of WIC-approved cereals must have whole grain listed as the first ingredient. Box sizes approved have been expanded to include any box size from 9 ounce to 36 ounce. This may mean that some of the currently approved non-whole grain cereals may be removed, and shelf tags may need to be removed or moved. Because the sizes of boxes have been expanded to be anything from 9 to 36 ounce, this change will not necessarily change the selection participants have. Some of the currently approved cereals won't meet the whole grain requirements, but the increased variety in sizes will add in cereals that haven't been allowed previously, or some that no longer met the size requirement will be added back in. This chart describes how to buy the full benefit of cereal. There's many ways to buy up to 36 ounces of cereal. 12 plus 24, 18 plus 18, 12 plus 12 plus 12, 23 plus 13, 15 plus 12 plus 9, 18 plus 9 plus 9, 21 plus 15. There's a lot of ways to achieve that full benefit, but do remember that participants do not have to buy the full amount. Whole grain amounts have changed. Before changes in the children's food package, 32 ounces of whole grain was allowed, and in the pregnant, postpartum, and breastfeeding food packages, 18 ounces was allowed. And after the changes in the children's food package, 24 ounces is allowed, and in the pregnant, postpartum, and breastfeeding food package, 48 ounces is allowed. There are many options added as well. Before changes, we had brown rice, 100% whole wheat bread, whole wheat rolls, whole wheat buns, whole wheat pasta, soft corn, or whole wheat tortillas. And now there will be options for quinoa, wild rice blends, millet, triticale, amaranth, kamut, sorghum, wheat berries, whole grain oats, cornmeal, including blue, teff, buckwheat, and whole wheat bread products, including pita, English muffins, bagels, and naan. Products marked with the asterisk have been added effective March 1st, 2026. The ones without the asterisk are things that could be added if we got requests for them. The whole grain amount changes open the availability for participants to purchase larger loaves of bread. This will change the minimum stocking requirements. Stores will no longer be required to stock 16-ounce loaves. 6 loaves of whole grain or whole wheat bread of any size will be required. Also, the additional grains are eligible to be added upon request and approval. Canned fish amounts have changed. Before the changes, the only participants that received canned fish were fully breastfeeding at 30 ounces. After the change, children get 6 ounces, pregnant and postpartum get 10 ounces, partially breastfeeding gets 15 ounces, and fully breastfeeding get 20 ounces. The allowed fish has changed also. Before changes, you could get salmon, sardines, Atlantic mackerel, chub mackerel, light tuna, and jack mackerel. After the change takes effect, you will be allowed pink salmon, sardines, Atlantic mackerel, chub mackerel, and light tuna. Jack mackerel has been removed from the approved list. Fish may be packed in oil or water. Canned refers to cans and other shelf-stable containers such as jars and pouches. Egg and legume changes. Egg substitutions. Before changes, eggs were not eligible for substitution except for in the homeless food package. After the changes, eggs can be substituted for legumes, peanut butter, or nut and seed butter. Eggs may be removed to add extra legumes. Legumes before changes, peanut butter, dried peas, beans, and lentils. And after the changes, you can get peanut butter, seed and other nut butters, dried peas, beans, and lentils. Greater variety of sizes. New rules allow for a wider selection of package sizes while ensuring participants can still receive the full benefit amount. For example, at least one package size or combination of sizes must add up to the whole benefit amount. This has allowed for larger bread loaf sizes, larger packages for tortillas, and allows a broader range of cereal box sizes. This new rule will mean that the minimum stocking requirement for bread has changed. You do not have to stock the 16-ounce size. Participants do not have to choose options that add up to the entire amount. Implementation schedule. All changes except for the yogurt sugar content and vitamin D changes will be implemented March 1st, 2026. Yogurt changes will be implemented later to provide manufacturers time to make changes. Summary of impact. The new WIC food packages support the consumption of more fruits and vegetables by permanently increasing the cash value benefit amounts. Increase access to whole grains in breakfast cereal, bread, and grains by providing a broader range of grains and more flexibility in product sizes. Reduce the amount of added sugars in yogurt and milks. Maximize food choice to reflect dietary guidance and accommodate cultural and individual preferences, including traditional foodways, allergies, and vegetarian and vegan eating patterns. Breastfeeding is not an all or nothing choice by providing more support across a brighter range of breastfeeding levels. Increase the allowable range of food package sizes to improve the ease of shopping to help reduce disparities in program delivery. This final rule considers public comments submitted in response to the proposed rule revising the WIC food packages published on November 21, 2022. It revises regulations to align the WIC food packages with the current dietary guidelines for Americans and to reflect recommendations from the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine while promoting nutrition security and equity and considering program administration. The changes are intended to provide WIC participants with a wider variety of foods that align with the latest nutritional science, provide WIC agencies with greater flexibility to prescribe and tailor food packages that accommodate participants' special dietary needs and personal and cultural food preferences, and address key nutritional needs to support healthy dietary patterns. This rule provides foods in amounts that are more consistent with the supplemental nature of the program, encourages fruit and vegetable consumption, and strengthens support for individual breastfeeding goals to help establish long-term breastfeeding. What this means for vendors. Minimum stocking requirements will change for some items. Changes in UPCs will require new updates to the APL. Please send in UPCs that fail so they can be added. Open submission for brand-specific products is January through March every year. Non-brand specific foods can be submitted all year long. More CVB will increase the sales of produce. There are more requirements for minimum stock in the new food rule, but Nevada's requirements already meet or exceed the federal requirement. Participants may have had questions about reduced amounts of some WIC-approved foods. Participants can be referred to their clinic for questions vendors can't answer. The shopping guide and the WIC Shopper app are an easy way to find answers about approved foods and what participants may buy. If you have questions or concerns about any of the changes, please reach out. You can email me at dpbhwicvendor@health.nv.gov or at my personal email, edryer@health.nv.gov. Or you can always pick up the phone and give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And if I don't know the answer, I will find out.